Folks, we'll start off with some of Shostakovich, Symphony Number 5, for about 20 minutes or so before we start. This is an online recording with David Abrams. Time Stands Still. I couldn't possibly interrupt that movement. It was the third movement from Shostakovich's Fifth Symphony. And it's often described as the culmination of resignation, mourning, and lamentation. It's from the, he had to subscribe to the doctrine of socialist realism, poor old Shosta. It was a really, really difficult time for him. When he wrote the symphony in 1940 Mumble, in the 40s, and he had previously been show trialed by Stalin for writing music that was not acceptable with the in the order, and he kept a packed bag by his front door waiting to be expelled and taken to the Gulag. Anyhow, he wrote this piece, and as a way to amend himself, but it's full of dark secrets which sort of transcended the knowledge of the time. So superficially, it sort of subscribes to socialist realism in its sort of harmony and general use of Russian themes and easy music to sort of sing along with or jive along with. But inwardly, it's just full of complexity and the darkest feelings. So, in fact, he titled this work as a, quote, a creative response of a Soviet artist to justified criticism. He had to say that. So, yeah, it's a really, really powerful story, and we'll save the last movement for a little bit later on, maybe at the end of the program today, because that's sardonic in the extreme. So there we have it. That was Shostakovich's Fifth Symphony, a remarkable recording from the Frankfurt Orchestra there, Frankfurt Radio Symphony Orchestra. All their performances are online, and they're beautifully videoed and sonically captured, and it's well worth having a listen to their corpus online. I'm vk3sl, and we're testing here. I think I've got my channel open. I got in touch with Frank. I wasn't sure if I'd be around for today's program, but it's worked out. So there's been a few things happening around me, and it's all sometimes it's unknown whether I'll get back in time, but it worked out well today. So we'll commence with our 20s hit, I think. So we'll get on with it, and we'll find a recording from 1920 Mumble. I think this is about 1927, and the name of the tune is Sundown, and it features the orchestra, George Olsen's music, I think. I've just got to make sure I get the system checked in with this. We're going to make sure that we have contact. We do. We have a noise reduction, which hopefully will do justice to this typical 20s hit, which is sort of... I don't know, after hearing what we've just heard, it's a bit hard to play music like this, but we've suspended reality and we've found a new connection point. All right, ready to zip? Let's have a listen to At Sundown, the name of the tune. I'm vk3sl. Yay! There we heard George Olsen and his music on a rather worn out HMV disc from about 1926. I think it was about the year. It's an early EA. It's EA 100 and something. I can confirm. I can look at the record and tell you that it's EA 165. There we go. That dates it from 1926 period. So yeah, that was a big hit at that time. And I can follow on with something sort of a little bit relevant, actually. I was sort of sampling some snippets from a film made in the 40s called The Fabulous Dorseys. In this film, it features what sort of reconciles Tommy and Jimmy Dorsey, two really outstanding jazz players. They cut their teeth with Paul Whiteman back in the 20s, and when they made the film in the 40s, reflecting on their life, they got Mr. Whiteman back into the studio to conduct a mock performance of his 20s band. It's sort of glamorified, but they happen to play the same tune. So let's have a listen to Paul Whiteman's orchestra from 1947, I think this is, but they're imitating the style of the 1920s with a lot of glam, and it's sort of really quite distorted, to be honest. But you will hear some excellent solos by Jimmy Dorsey on the alto sax and Tommy on the trombonium, and Henry Bussey, who's in the original band back in the 20s. He does a cameo and plays the straight cornet solo. And who else? Mike Pinkerton has a banjo solo. He was with the Whiteman band from about 1920 right through to the 40s and beyond. And he had a brother, Eugene Pinkerton, who was in Australia. But that's another story. So listen for the banjo solo, trombone solo, and alto sax solo. What else? And Mr. Bussey playing the straight mute. Yeah, the shuffle track. Right, Paul Whiteman's band from the 40s, an elderly Paul Whiteman. I'm vk3sl, Test Missions.
They went into New York then. Radio was just beginning to take hold, and the big new bands were taking hold with it. The Valleys, the Lombardos, and the king of them all,
Okay, there we have it. That was the Whiteman Band back in 1947, I think it was. Yes, when the film The Fabulous Dorseys was made. Two brothers didn't really get along that well, but they sort of did for the film, which documented their lives. So huge figures in the swing scene in the 30s, and they cut their teeth in the 20s, and they made this film in the 40s. They didn't live much longer than that. I think they both passed away quite prematurely in the 50s, though it's probably a bit of indulgence was responsible for that. But it's a significant film because of the he saw Paul Whiteman then in his 70s or 60s maybe. He was at the directing his original orchestra there with a glammed up arrangement of At Sundown as the track we heard at the start. So there we go. There's a little bit of 20s trivia to kick off the program. Okay, I've just been in touch with Frank and he's resetting systems. We've just had a little bit of input difficulty and I just checked the squelch here and it seems to be okay on the system, but he's just checking in with that, and if it doesn't work, we'll have a chat and sort of look beyond. But anyhow, we are testing, as we do, on 160 and on UHF and also streaming online. So you can look us up on YT under my call sign, vk3sl. So there's a channel devoted especially to the archiving these programs. Sort of a little bit sporadic because every so often I get a copyright strike. When I do, I just retire and move to the Internet Archive for a bit. Hello there, Frank.
I'm back.
You're back. Hey, well done. You're on board. That's all good.
Sorry about all that.
No, not at all. It's good to hear you. And we've just sort of got ourselves organised and seated and Shostakovich and had our 20s hit, so we're sort of settling into...
Pretty sparkling performance, wasn't it?
Yeah, oh God, yeah. Look, I have to commend the Frankfurt Radio Symphony Orchestra. It's one of the best orchestras in Europe, and they've got a fantastic online presence, and their concerts were filmed in really high-end filming of their concerts, and excellent audio, and it's a great sort of... a wonderful way to sort of venture into classical music because the production standards are really high.
Yeah.
So, it's good to know. A lot of the others, like the Berlin Phil and the London orchestras, they do wonderful things too, but they're all subscription models. This one is the Radio Frankfurt Orchestra is in the, it's just in the public domain. So, all good. So, yes, we're just hearing that. I mean, it's such a devastating symphony, the number 5. It's just, it's just full of angst, full of the deepest angst, because he's trying to appease the authorities, because his 4th symphony was withdrawn and he was brought in front of Stalin and admonished and basically a show trial and told he was anti-Soviet and he was not representing the best the artistic vision. And, he was threatened to go to the Gulag, and then he wrote the 5th Symphony in response to that. And he said his comment for the 5th Symphony was, quote, creative response of a Soviet artist to justified criticism.
Yes.
Which is just absolutely just terrible and ironic and horrible, and it's full of ironic messages right through. So he's very careful, and he outwardly it's all very pretty and it's angst, but it uses tonal language and everything.
There's hidden, real.
Yeah, there's real hidden meaning all the way through it. And the last that we finished with the 3rd movement, and we'll play the 4th at the very end of the program today. But the 3rd movement is just absolutely full of resignation, mourning and lamentation. And he originally thought that he sort of said this is a part of the Soviet struggle, and he sort of presented it in bolder, terms, wider berth, so to speak. And but inwardly, it was about his personal struggle, of course, and just the plight of music in general.
It's amazing that he was able to create it all under that sort of pressure.
He chain smoked. He was a 4-pack a day person.
Yeah.
He had a suitcase next to the front door, expecting to be arrested.
Yes, he didn't want to disturb the rest of the family.
No, he didn't, and he was just waiting to be arrested. And
how could you live your life like that?
I know, it's terrible. He had this, he was a sensitive artist with who felt connected to his people, but in being tortured, effectively, publicly tortured by the authorities.
I must learn more about. I must listen to more of his music.
Yeah.
The thing that I really like about, that I know I haven't been exposed to very much, but I love those 24 preludes and fugues
they're
that he
beautiful.
wrote.
They're magnificent. I mean, he's a really very insightful artist, and everything he wrote is full of there's a real connection to humanity.
Yeah.
that prevails. In
Have you
everything.
have you heard the turkey trot?
Yes, I have. It's gorgeous. Yeah, and look, and also he wrote music for silent films as well.
Oh, did he?
Yeah, he did. He wrote stage music as well as his 11 symphonies.
Yes, yes.
But and a lot of chamber music. His string quartets also describe a lot of his angst. Many years ago, we played his second piano trio, the E flat major, the one with the fate motive in it, and that was a really powerful experience learning that piece.
Yes.
Yeah.
He had an
Anyhow,
interest in jazz, I think.
yes, he did very much so. We should explore his opus more because I think there are pieces where syncopation is openly explored.
Yeah.
But he always had to tread that fine line. As soon as Stalin died, he loosened up a lot.
Oh, what a relief that must have been.
Enormous relief.
So not only to him, of course.
Oh, God, for other artists too. And, of course, Prokofiev died on the same day as Stalin,
Oh, no.
which is really sad. Of course, poor Prokofiev was in the same boat. Prokofiev wrote all this really adventurous music earlier on, and then he basically just fell into line with the doctrine of socialist realism, all of that.
Yeah.
And then he died on the same day as Stalin, which is just terrible.
My God.
Yeah, anyhow.
Did you ever see there was a very black humour film made about the day that Stalin died?
I haven't seen that.
Oh, it's quite funny, but in a very black way.
Yeah.
And it sort of relives what people were going through.
Mm-hmm.
I think it starts off with the true story about the Stalin missing, wanting them to get. They had to re-record the symphony, replay that symphony that he missed.
Oh, yeah. The story is that it was a Mozart piano concerto.
That's right, piano concerto.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's it. And Maria Udina was. This is an extraordinary story, and it's true.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, and basically he heard her on air playing a piano concerto, and he was really moved. He really loved the performance. He heard it late night on air, but they didn't record it. It was a live performance on air. And he rang up the station and said, I want a recording of this now.
Yeah.
And they had to get all the musicians, every one of them, all of them back late at night. In the middle of the night,
All out of bed and everything.
yeah, exactly. They had to bring them all in, and they re-recorded the work with her
Yeah.
in the middle of the night, and by the morning they were able to deliver an acetate of the record to him. Now, she lived to tell the tale, and it's an extraordinary story. But
She's a very brave woman, I think, wasn't she?
yeah, she stood up to him, and she at various times. But that's another story. But the reality of when Stalin died, they found when he was dying, no one wanted to go into the room because they were terrified he might sort of react in a way that might compromise them.
That's what this movie's all about.
Yeah, and but when they did eventually walk in the room, he died of a stroke or something, and they had a record was on the turntable on his radiogram, and just in perpetual cyclic redundancies going round and round, and it was that piano concerto. So
Yeah, it was. Yes, that's featured in the movie.
yeah, so that was the last thing he heard, but it's awful, isn't it?
It is. It's a terrific film. I'll find out the name of it and I commend it to you.
Please do, because I'd like to see it.
It's all true. It's supposed to be true.
Yeah. That's
Certainly
the tale.
it mentions the fact that, and that's the leakage, it mentions the fact that when eventually someone was game enough to go in to the room, they found this record on the...
Yeah.
And then, of course, they told the story of why it came to be
Yes.
in his good books,
Yeah, it's a strange twist of circumstance, really. I was going to use the word fate, but I'll say circumstance. And it's an interesting one. Yeah. So anyhow, but lots happening in the world at the moment, of course, as well. Yeah. All right. Well, I was compelled by our last few recordings. I haven't thought beyond that, so I will do a lucky dip. Oh, I should mention before we do play anything else, had a really interesting day. We've been visiting Kate's mother and her stepfather, who live in a retirement village out near Torquay. We sort of try and catch up with them when it's school holiday period. And I had lunch with them, but I also did a walk And we got there early this morning, and I did a walk along a beach with all the storm clouds. It was just incredible storm activity. It was amazing. And I put all my coats on and things and just walked in the rain, and took quite a lot of photos of the storm clouds. But it was absolutely incredible. It was one of those visceral nature experiences.
Yeah, I can imagine.
Which I just hold so close, just being in the raw elements. So,
yeah, I know. I used to take the kids down. My parents had a house at Aspendale.
Oh, yes.
And we several times when it was absolutely blowing a gale and raining, I said, let's just go down and experience it.
Yes. It's so important. It's so important to sort of feel that connection to nature and its elements, and even if you're all rugged up with coats. Got
to do that.
But still, yeah, it's has a certain resonance. So yeah, that's great. It's nice to hear that story from you, and I think it's something that every kid should experience. Really. Yeah.
I used to love it myself. That's why I did.
Yeah, that's great. Thank you. Yeah, all right. Well, I just pulled a few records out. I haven't thought beyond the moment. And we have Woody Herman and the new Third Herd. I don't know what this is about. It's a bit dusty. In fact, it's waxy and dusty, so it may not work that well. But look, we'll give it a go. It's called Woofty is the name of the track. Trying out a new cartridge today, so we'll see if this works. But we'll do a needle drop. And this would be from the 1940s. My goodness me, it's not happening, folks. It's not happening. We're skipping. I think the anti-skating is not matching the cartridge, and the record's also very waxy. So it's all conspiring to not work in our favour. Sorry, we almost had it. Yeah, I can see how the I think the record's just dirty. I think that's what it is. All right, another one from the pile. This is just a pile of, I don't know where this came from. Here we go. Ivan Morton and Dave
Kay. Yes, the two pianists.
They did some good stuff actually.
They did. They were absolutely everywhere on the commercial radio stations. Early 50s.
Oh, really? Oh, that's great. Yeah. So this one says on the label, it's a Parlophone 78 from about that time, says Ivan Morton, Dave Kay on two pianos with string bass and drums. So we've got a rhythm section here in situ. So I'll just have to clean that stylus because I think that really gummed up everything. Yeah. And, all right, try again. Take two. Let's see if we can find something that resonates. go. That was Ive Morton and Dave Kay there, and very.
Pretty good.
They captured the boogie.
Good boogie there.
Yeah, they did. They captured Boogie Woogie was all a go in the 50s, wasn't it?
Oh yeah.
And it sort of informed that with a new burgeoning generation of sort of rock. Well, I won't say rock. It's sort of that bluesy pre-rock and roll sort of era, wasn't it? That
was. I remember the first time I heard boogie. I was sitting in the sitting room in the primary school with my then best friend, who was a very, very good pianist.
Right.
I mean, we were both about. He was about 12, and I was 10.
Yeah.
And we heard this music, and we just both absolutely loved it.
Oh.
And I remember the artists were Pete Johnson and Albert Ammons doing piano duets.
This is marvellous.
And
Pete Johnson.
And anyway, the next year, I and another friend bought this. It was a 10-inch LP for Alan, the boy I was with.
Yeah.
And he just played it to death, and it sticks in my memory because we just loved the drive of it, the rocking of it. It was terrific.
Yeah, it was very much a part of rhythm and blues, wasn't it?
It was a pretty close cousin to rhythm and blues, really, and it sort of grew out of it. I certainly grew out of it. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, here we go. I found Pete Johnson, Albert Ammons.
Oh boy.
We've got Boogie Woogie Man. We've got Barrowhouse Boogie. We've got Foot Pedal Boogie, Cutting the Boogie.
Well, that was the disc that we heard.
Okay. Well, these are recordings made in 1941. What shall I play? Boogie Woogie Man?
Yeah.
Right.
See what you think.
Oh, yeah, this is fun. All right, we'll dial it up. Well, let's get it onto the triage. And it is the first cab off the rank. Here we go. Thank you for that. That's a great story. Here we go. Pete Johnson and Albert Ammons back in 1941. Thanks, Frank. Okay, that was brilliant. good, Frank. That was a fantastic suggestion.
Great stuff. Isn't
You
it?
have inspired a rabbit hole because we're going to hear more of these guys. They're wonderful. Pete Johnson, Albert Ammons.
My friend who we bought this for was a great, brilliant pianist himself. In fact, he eventually did his licentiate.
Oh, did he?
And he actually died very recently, unfortunately.
Oh.
But and he had a fairly unfortunate life in some way. Anyway, he could play this stuff really well.
Oh my gosh!
And just improvise, and he used to do it all the time. Whenever he'd, I used to listen to him. He was supposed to be practicing his classical stuff, but he'd always give us a burst of the boogie whenever we asked him.
Oh, that's fantastic! I
And he
love
did it very well.
Oh wow! It must have been in his DNA, Frank.
Oh, totally. Yeah,
That's
yeah.
fantastic. That's a great story. Well, we'll hear some more of Pete Johnson and Albert Ammons because there's heaps out there. There's all sorts of interesting things. I want to hear them. So here they go. I don't know. Just
Certainly capture the sort of essence of the boogie, don't they?
They do, and they're both black musicians with a pedigree of, they're steeped in the tradition, so they bring it to the fore.
And this is 41, so it's pretty early.
Yeah, it is, absolutely. Well, here we go. Let's have a listen to Barrel House Boogie.
Yeah.
More Pete Johnson and Albert Ammons. House Boogie with Pete Johnson and Albert Ammons. Oh, yes, I love the raw energy, and it really does preempt the rhythm and blues, rock and roll era.
Oh, very much.
Fundamentally.
Yeah.
It's sort of, that style of playing is sort of omnipresent upon the emergence of rock and roll.
Yeah.
Oh, gee, I love it. It's wonderful. I'll play one more from these guys.
Okay.
Yeah, this is fabulous. I love the story. This is the sort of thing that...
We heard it because we used to... When recess was on, we normally had to go outside and do stuff out in the play area out there. But when it rained, you had to go into this sitting room.
Yes.
And strangely, it so happened that Alan and I were the only ones there on this particular day.
Yeah.
And they had a radio, and that's how we came to put it on.
Oh, right. You heard these guys, and the rest of it's history.
Yeah, that's right. And when what we heard was a couple of bars, and we just knew we loved it, you know.
Oh, marvellous. And, obviously it was a companion for him in a really compelling sense if he'd sort of learnt the style and just sort of, let it integrate.
Oh, well, I wish you could have heard him play it. I mean, obviously just one person is not, hadn't got the force, but he got all got the feel of it just right.
Yeah, I bet he did. Oh, that's great. Thank you. Well, we'll hear some more. Albert Ammons and Pete Johnson from the same year. I think all these were made in that year, 1941. This one is called a Foot Pedal Boogie. Yay! That was Foot Pedal Boogie with Albert Ammons and Pete Johnson back in 1941. Oh, that's great. I didn't even know about these guys. Yeah, it's fantastic. Thank you. So yeah, I've found some little lineage, Frank. I found the first Boogie Woogie recording, and I remember hearing this some time ago. In fact, we may have played it during lockdown, but it's all coming back to me now. The plight of Pine Top Smith. He was a pianist in the 20s, and he's sort of noted to have been the inventor, or one of the inventors of Boogie Woogie, or sort of formulated the structure.
Yeah.
And look, I'll read out his history because it's just the most incredible story. This poor fellow. There's no photographs of him known to exist. He died at the age of 24. He was born in 1904. His real name was Clarence Smith, but they call him Pine Top. He was an American boogie-woogie-style blues pianist. And he made one big hit, Pine Top's Boogie Woogie, featuring rhythmic breaks that were an essential ingredient of ragtime music, but also a fundamental foreshadowing of rock and roll, it says here.
Yeah,
on the
that's
wiki page.
pretty right.
Yeah. The song was also the first known use of the term Boogie Woogie on a record.
Right.
And cemented that term in the moniker for the genre. This is 1929. Now, it says here that Smith was born in Alabama and raised in Birmingham, Alabama. He received his nickname as a child from liking for climbing trees.
All right.
1920, he moved to Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, where he worked as an entertainer before touring in the Theatre Owners Book Association vaudeville circuit, performing as a singer and comedian as well as a pianist. For a time, he worked as an accompanist for blues singer Ma Rainey.
Oh.
Interesting. In the mid-20s, he was recommended by Cal Davenport, J. Mayo Williams at Vocalion Records, and in 1928, he moved with his wife and young son to Chicago to record. In 1928, he recorded his influential Pine Top's Boogie Woogie, one of the first Boogie Woogie style recordings ever to make a hit, which was cemented the name for the style.
Right.
It was also the first recording to have the phrase Boogie Woogie in the song's title.
Right.
Smith talks over the recording, telling how to dance to the number. He said that he originated the number at a house. I love this. This is brilliant. He said he originated the number at a house rent party in St. Louis, Missouri. Smith was the first ever to direct, quote, the girl with the red dress on to, quote, not move a peg until told to, quote, shake that thing and mess around.
Wow.
I love this.
They've gone into the vernacular, those
They
phrases.
certainly have. Similar lyrics are heard in many later songs, including Mess Around and What I Say by Ray Charles.
Yeah, they do the mess around.
Yeah. So this is back in the 20s.
Oh, my God.
Yes, Smith was scheduled to make another recording for Vocalion 29, but died from a gunshot wound in a dance hall fight in Chicago.
Oh, my
The
God.
day before the session. Sources differ as to whether he was the intended recipient of the bullet. And someone says, I quote, I saw Pine Top split blood, and that was a headline in Downbeat magazine.
Oh.
And there's this paragraphs and paragraphs and paragraphs about his influences and how significant he is in the
History of things.
history of the follow-on. Yeah. So let's have a
Oh, that's
listen.
most interesting, isn't
So hear this one recording that he made. No photographs exist of him, but this one recording is extant, made for Vocalion in 1929. So the name of the tune, Pine Top's Boogie Woogie, Pine Top Smith at the piano. The one recording of Pine Top Smith at the piano.
It says you need more than 3 chords.
Yeah. It's so significant. That record is so significant.
Absolutely. Because it's the essence, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. It's all there. It's all born. It's boogie woogie through and through. It's
Totally.
It's not burgeoning. It's not in some embryonic phase. It's presented with all of its characteristics there, including including those wonderful lyrics. They're crazy lyrics.
There's been from time to time they've had songs like that where the audience has to do things like.
Yeah.
There's another one called the Madison.
Oh, okay. I'll have to look that up. Well, I'll look that up. But I'll.
Madison's not particularly musically entertaining, I don't think.
Oh, okay. Well, maybe we'll suspend that one because there's a couple of other notable examples. So poor old Pine Top met his demise only a few days after that record was made.
Yeah, that's terrible.
It's so sad, terrible. Yeah, gunshot wound. Yeah.
Life wasn't for the faint-hearted in those days.
No, it was a rough existence, and he came from a very impoverished background, and it's just remarkable that recording was made in the first place.
Yeah.
On the race labels.
Indeed.
Yeah, so that is truly significant. Now, Tommy Dorsey picked up on that, as a lot of the white musicians did.
Yeah, as you would. I mean, it's so driving, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. They picked up on that raw energy and thought, here we go, here's something of significance, and just under 10 years later, in 1938, Tommy Dorsey made an arrangement and recorded a track called Boogie Woogie. Nothing else. That's simply as it is. So, yeah, big hit for him in that year. Okay, there we have Boogie Woogie with Tommy Dorsey and the band from 1938.
It's really good to hear it being done by a band and being picked up, but really it was a bit sanitised compared with the other ones, wasn't it?
Totally, absolutely. No, it's been reframed. There's no doubt about that. Yeah, it's all done with a certain commercial imperative.
Yeah.
But, yeah, definitely. I mean, Tommy Dorsey's band was a sweet band with an agenda. So, but nevertheless, it's significant because that's the next chapter. But
it's gone into the vernacular there, though, and you know, as we know, it led to other things, but it still kept its own personality and existed in its own right.
Yeah, totally. I acknowledge that, absolutely. So there are other earlier antecedents to the boogie as well, which I'll follow up on another day. I sampled one. There's a guy called Papa Cow Davenport, who was a pianist in the very early days, and he made recordings just after the First World War, and there's others, acetates he made later on, which are significant in the genre, but they're really raw recordings, so I might just sort of have to do my diligence and flesh that picture out with a bit more care, but we can certainly pick up more on this at a later time.
It'd be great.
Yeah. So, I mean, in the popular vernacular, after the after the Tommy Dorsey track, we had the number of recordings made by Pete Johnson and Albert Ammons.
Yeah.
And then we sort of move into the rock and roll era. I just quickly had a sift through a pile of sort of rock and rollish records here, and I came up with Green Tree Boogie with Bill Haley. But I'll play this. But while I'm playing this, do you want to have just a quick ponder and see if think up a track or two from the early days of rock and roll, which sort of featured?
Yeah, sure.
So look, just have a think about that, and we've got Sundown Boogie and Green Tree Boogie with Bill Haley. These must be fairly early Bill Haleys.
With through people like Bill that the most direct connection occurred, I think.
Right. Yeah, it's an interesting point. What side shall I play, Green Tree or Sundown?
I don't know either of them, to be honest.
Yeah.
Go Green Tree.
Oh, try it with Green Tree. Yep, give it a whirl. It's a London 78 from the 50s. It's a bit dusty, so I'm hoping it will play. But we'll play this, and then, Frank, you might have some thoughts afterwards.
I got a woman just as sweet as can be. She reminds me of a little green tree. Her limbs are straight, she grows tall. She comes from the south and she says, you all know the little green trees are growing up all around. Green tree boogie. Yeah, the little green trees are growing up all around. Green tree boogie. When the rain falls, they spring up from the ground. Green tree boogie. Oh, the green tree boogie is driving me almost wild. Green tree boogie. Oh, the green tree boogie is driving me almost wild. Green tree boogie. If it don't make you boogie, it'll surely make you smile. Green tree boogie. Soon I marry her, I'm gonna settle down, gonna buy me a home in some small town. Then we'll have a lot of little green trees, all growing up just to worry me. And the little green trees will grow up all around. Green tree boogie. Yeah, the little green trees will grow up all around. Green tree boogie. When the mammy calls, they'll spring up from the ground. Green tree boogie. Oh, the green tree boogie is driving me almost wild. Green tree boogie. Oh, the green tree boogie is driving me almost wild. Green tree boogie. If it don't make you boogie, it'll surely make you smile. Green tree boogie. Driving me almost wild. Green tree boogie. Yeah, the green tree boogie is driving me almost wild. Green tree boogie. If it don't make you boogie, it'll surely make you smile.
Slightly off centre there, but that was Bill Haley in the comments. Now, it says here that was recorded in 51 but released in 55. I don't believe that. I think it was probably more in the mid-50s.
No, I think that predated Rock Around the Clock, definitely.
Oh, okay. Well,
No, I would believe it, actually, because he didn't have the heavy drums, or it was heading for rock and roll, and he was, you'd imagine that he was one of the most likely ones to do Rock Around the Clock, but
okay.
I don't think, we hadn't quite got to rock and roll, I think, then.
Okay, interesting point. Well, I take that on board, absolutely. The other side's got a track called Sundown Boy. We can save that. But did you have any thoughts there, Frank, for a follow-on?
Yeah, well, there's a track that I used to like. It's not particularly heavy boogie. In fact, it's a bit of a laid-back sort of thing, but it just shows that they were taking the boogie in other directions and doing a bit of experimenting with it.
Sure.
It was a song called Cow Cow Boogie.
Yeah.
By Ella Mae Morse.
Oh, Ella. Ella. Ella Mae Morse. Okay, we're looking it up as we speak. Cocoa Boogie, Ella Mae Morse, it's on board. Okay, gosh. Oh, there's a recording of her doing it with Liberace. Ella Mae Morse, Cocoa Boogie, 1942.
Oh,
Wow.
so early.
Gee, yeah.
That's it. I hadn't realised it was so early.
Yeah.
I used to hear it as a kid when I was 6, 7 or 8, and I imagined it was recently released. But
it's an interesting point.
That makes it even more interesting.
It does, rather. And I think it's often the case that records stayed in the catalogue for quite a period, and they were re-released and they were sort of redressed. And, think of that Heartache track from Ted Williams.
Yeah,
that stayed in the catalogue for a long time.
See, I heard that as a kid. I used to love that.
But I think that was recorded in 1938.
There you go.
But it's sustained. But,
I would have heard it in 1950.
Yeah. Interesting. All right. Amazing. 1950.
I know.
I just got to pinch myself sometimes.
Yeah,
Look, my father was talking last night about hearing Bill Haley at Festival Hall in 1956. I think he came out.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah, and I sort of think, well, that's another story. Yeah. Okay. Well, we'll hear Ella Mae Morse vocal, Freddie Slack, and Cow Boogie, and 1942 Hits Archive, a recording made for Capitol. So we'll just start it up and see if this is the one you know. There's a couple of versions. There's a couple of TV versions as well.
This will be the best one to have, the original.
Yeah, this looks like the original. So here we go, 1942. More Boogie Woogie, please.
Out on the plains, down near Santa Fe, I met a cowboy riding the range one day, and as he jogged along, I heard him singing a most peculiar cowboy song. It was a ditty he learned in the city. Get along. Get hip, little doggies, get along. Better be on your way, get along. Get hip, little doggies, and he trucked them on down the old fairway, singing his cow boogie in the strangest way. Singing his cowboy song. He's just too much. He's got a knocked out western accent with a Harlem touch. He was raised on local weed. He's what you call a swing half-breed, singing his cow boogie in the strangest way. Yip, yip, singing his cowboy songs. Yip, yip, as he was juggling along. Yip, yip, he sings with a Harlem touch. Yip, yip, that cat is just too much. Singing his cow boogie in the strangest way. Come a
Oh, Frank, that is just fantastic.
Great stuff, isn't it?
Ella Mae Morse. Wow. What a voice. What happened to her?
I know. Oh, she was around. She did other stuff.
Yeah. Oh, I'm so impressed. She's got the swag. She's got the vibe. She's got the spunk.
She sang with jazz orchestras.
Yeah.
Well, swing orchestras, I should say.
Oh, there's another program. Okay, another rabbit hole.
She was really good.
Yeah, she is. Is that
It's a beaut song, I reckon.
It is. It's marvellous. I love it. I love its laid-back vibe. And
you can see how the boogie influences of the phrasing and the little ornaments are going into the mainstream.
You can really sense that, and it's significant because that's 1942. That's pretty early on. It's during the war.
I thought it was much later.
Yeah, so there we go. That's fascinating. But I'd notice here that the same track was recorded 2 years later in 1944 with Ink Spots and Ella Fitzgerald.
Oh boy, could we hear that? Do you reckon?
Yeah, totally. It says here it's a #1 rhythm and blues hit from 1944. Well,
it's become an authentic rhythm and blues by then.
Yes, exactly. It had been sort of absorbed into the vernacular and as a part of the new Vogue.
Yeah.
Oh, this is wonderful stuff. Okay, here we go. Cow Cow Boogie, take 2, Ink Spots and Ella on Decca.
Out on the plains down near Santa Fe, I met a cowboy riding the range one day, and as he jogged along, I heard him singing a most peculiar cowboy song. It was a ditty he learned in the city. Come-a-ta-ay-ay, come-a-ta-yip-yay.
Get along. Get hip, little dog. Get along. Better be on your way. Get along. Get hip, little doggy. And he trucked him on down that old fairway, singing his cow-cow boogie in the strangest way. Coming to ya-ya-yay, coming to yip-till-ya-yay.
Singing his cowboy songs, he's just too much. He's got a knocked out western accent with a Harlem touch. He was raised on local weed. He's what you call a swing half-breed, singing his cow-cow boogie in the strangest way. Come-a-ta-ay-ay, come-a-ta-yip-yay.
Get long, get hip, little doggy, get long. You better be on your way. Get long, get hip, little doggy, as he tucked it on down the old fairway, singing the cow-cow boogie in the strangest way. Coming to ya-ya-yay, coming to yip-till-ya-yay.
Singing his cowboy songs, he's just too much. He's got a knocked out western accent with a Harlem touch.
That cat was raised on loco weed. Jackie's what you call a swing half-breed.
Singing his cow-cow boogie in the strangest way. Come-a-ta-ay-ay, come-a-ta-yip-yay.
Come-a-ta-ay-ay, come-a-ta-yip-till-ya-yay.
Get along, little doggy, better be on your way.
Oh, my goodness me. That is one of the best Ella tracks I've ever heard.
Beautiful, wasn't it?
I just never heard that before, and she's just got this beautiful freedom in her delivery, and I love all of that sort of, that inflection. Yay. Early Ella.
Early Ella.
With the Ink Spots back in 1944, Frank. That's wonderful stuff. Well, what do you reckon? Another one?
Yeah.
Before we wind up, have we got another Boogie Woogie Supreme track?
Oh, just taking it a bit forward, I think we probably should do another Bill Haley. Like, how about the other side of the other one? We go Sundown Boogie.
Yeah. Let's put it back in the box.
Because that's where it was heading. He really headed towards rock and roll.
Yeah, sure.
And Rock Around the Clock really sort of sealed the deal.
Yes.
In, I think, 54.
Yes.
In the movie Blackboard Jungle it was in.
Okay, that's true. And he did a track called Rock a Beat and Boogie as well, didn't he?
Oh, let's do that.
Well, I've got this one first, then I'll dial up Rock a Beat and Boogie because I know I've got that on 45. So we'll hit the 78 of Sundown Boogie. I'm keen to hear what this is like, actually, because it seems like it is early Bill Haley before he sort of got into the big scene. So
Yeah, he was. I don't think he was particularly well known at this stage.
Yeah, this is quite fascinating. So here we go. The original 78 on a London record.
Takes a rocking chair to rock, takes a rubber ball to roll, takes a gal I love to satisfy my soul. Do the sundown boogie, sundown boogie, sundown boogie, sundown boogie. Everybody boogies where the sun goes down. Well, I got a gal, 6 foot tall, sleeps in the kitchen with her feet in the hall, doing the sundown boogie, sundown boogie, sundown boogie, sundown boogie. Everybody boogies where the sun goes down. I can't remember when we'll do the sundown boogie, sundown boogie, sundown boogie, sundown boogie. Everybody boogies where the sun goes down. Well, the little chicken waits by the red barn door, 'cause she knows she met the rooster there before, doing the sundown boogie, sundown boogie, sundown boogie, sundown boogie. Everybody boogies where the sun goes down.
Boogie with Bill Haley, and I don't think it's even with his Comets at that stage.
No, I don't think he didn't call them the Comets. I think the Comets came with the rock stuff.
Yes, indeed.
But you see, it's still missing the big backbeat.
Yes, you're so right.
And it's missing the guitars, the rock and roll guitars. That's got a pedal steel, I think, just playing nice, quiet
I
stuff.
think you're right. It's interesting, isn't it?
So it needs to pick up on the rock guitar and particularly the drum backbeat.
Yeah, I get that. That's interesting. Well, I found the 45 from my father's collection here, a Festival 45 from the mid-50s, and it's Bill Haley and his Comets, and on side B we have Rock a Beat and Boogie and ABC Boogie.
This is rock and roll.
Yeah, so this is sort of moving into that zone. So,
yeah, this is rock and roll, I think.
Yeah. So wind with this, I think. I'll play this now and then let this side of the 45 ride out the program today.
That would be great.
Yay, and then we'll be back again tomorrow. I'm here tomorrow because it's my last day of holidays. And
wow.
I've got to inhabit the space. I've got to hang out and try and connect the dots and
I know, first day back's terrible.
Oh, it's terrible. It's just trying to get back into the zone, and it's so institutionalized. Where I work, everything is so. It's like I better be careful what I say, but
I know.
Yeah, it's highly organized.
Yes. Get the drift.
Yeah. So, I've got to get back into that headspace where everything matters in some sort of weird dystopian way. No, weird way. So, Anyhow, so here we go. Let's have a listen to Rockabeat and Boogie, ABC Boogie. We're listening to the music of Bill Haley and his Comets. This is True Rock and Roll, as Frank said. And thank you so much, Frank.
Thank you. It was great fun.
Yeah, absolutely it is. And I just love these rabbit hole missions where we can just find a tangent and just run with it. And I never would have heard about your...
Johnson and Albert Adams.
Yes, that's right.
Albert, yeah.
Yes, and Pine Top and others, and yeah, it's just been and the ink spots.
They're
and
good
the other
features, aren't they? Really?
They are. They're all interesting. It's a great journey. All right, so thank you, and we'll catch up tomorrow.
Good evening to the listener.
Yeah.
Hope you've enjoyed it as much as we have.
We have indeed. It's been wonderful. So here we go. Bill Haley and his comments to write out the show. Thank you again, and cheers for now on VK3SL.
K3JR clear.
Rock, 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 everybody. Roll, 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 everybody. Rock, 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 everybody. Roll, 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 everybody. Rock, 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 everybody. Rock, boogie, beat. You take a rock, you take a beat, you take a boogie, you make it sweet. You get the rock a beat and boogie, rock a beat and boogie beat. Well, the rock a beat and boogie, B-O-G-I-E. Well, the rock to the rhythm of the rock a beat and boogie, dancing to the rhythm of the rock a beat and boogie, shaking to the rhythm of the rock a beat and boogie, jumping to the rhythm of the rock a beat and boogie, romping to the rhythm of the rock a beat and boogie, B-O-G-I-E. You gotta jive, you gotta dance to be alive. Do the rock a beat and boogie beat. Oh, rock a beat and boogie, B-O-G-I-E. Well, the rock to the rhythm of the rock a beat and boogie, dance to the rhythm of the rock a beat and boogie, shaking to the rhythm of the rock a beat and boogie, jumping to the rhythm of the rock a beat and boogie, romping to the rhythm of the rock a beat and boogie. Rock, 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 everybody. Roll, 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 everybody. Rock, 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 everybody. Roll, 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 everybody. Rock, 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 everybody. Rock the beat, Down around the corner in a little school, children learn their lessons and the golden rule. 'Cause they got a teacher up from Basin Street, and she does her teaching with a boogie beat, teaching the ABC with rhythm and ease. Every single morning, it's the same old thing. All the kids are waiting for the bell to ring. When they hear it ringing, they all jump in line, walk into the classroom, feeling mighty fine to learn their ABC with rhythm and ease. Well, reading, writing, arithmetic, taught to the tune of a licorice stick. No education is ever complete without a boogie-woogie-woogie beat. Well, I'll read. And when the day is over and it's time to go, the children get their books and stand right at the door. Teacher is so happy 'cause she's done her bit to educate the kids and make them really fit to say their ABC with rhythm and ease. nation is a heaven complete without a boogie, woogie, woogie beat. Well, I'll read. And when the day is over and it's time to go, the children get their books and stand right at the door. Teacher is so happy 'cause she's done her bit to educate the kids and make them really fit to say their ABC with rhythm and ease. Six-string heater, K from the kick of a rim shot beater. That's how they made it, that's how they played it. R-O-C-K rock. Hey, I know my A's and my B's and my C's, E's and my Q's and my X, Y, Z's. Know how to lose all the blue bluesies. Jump in a pair of my dancing shoesies. Date with my baby, rock with my baby. R-O-C-K rock. Oh, Strauss discovered waltzing. The handyman found the blues, and the Haley came along with a rockin' song. Crazy man, crazy, crazy news. Are you happier? The bandits are moving. Oh, more than that, it's a go-go grooving. See what I mean? It's a hot, hot action. K like a kiss, it's a cool attraction. Ooh, it'll get you. I'm gonna bet you. R-O-C-K rock. The handyman found the blues, and the Haley came along with a rockin' song. Crazy man, crazy, crazy news. Are you happier? The bandits are moving. Oh, more than that, it's a go-go grooving. See what I mean? It's a hot, hot action. Hey, like a kiss, it's a cool attraction. Ooh, it'll get you. I'm gonna bet you. R-O-C-K rock.
See you later, alligator.
Well, I saw my baby walking with another man today. Well, I saw my baby walking with another man today. When I asked her what's the matter, this is what I heard her say. See you later, alligator. After a while, crocodile. See you later, alligator. After a while, crocodile. Can't you see you're in my way now? Don't you know you cramp my style? When I thought of what she told me, nearly made me lose my head. When I thought of what she told me, nearly made me lose my head. But the next time that I saw her, reminded her of what she said. See you later, alligator. After a while, crocodile. See you later, alligator. After a while, crocodile. Can't you see you're in my way now? Don't you know you cramp my style? She said, I'm sorry, pretty daddy. You know my love is just for you. She said, I'm sorry, pretty daddy. You know my love is just for you. Won't you say that you'll forgive me and say your love for me is true? I said, oh, wait a minute, gator. I know you mean mean it just for play. I said, wait a minute, Gator. I know you mean it just for play. Don't you know you really hurt me? And this is what I have to say. See you later, alligator. After a while, crocodile. See you later, alligator. After a while, crocodile. Can't you see you're in my way now? Don't you know you cramp my style? See you later, alligator. After a while, crocodile. See you later, alligator. So long. That's all. Goodbye.
Bill Haley and his Comets.
1, 2, 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock, rock. 5, 6, 7 o'clock, 8 o'clock, rock. 9, 10, 11 o'clock, 12 o'clock, rock. We're gonna rock around the clock tonight. Put your glad rags on, join me home. We'll have some fun when the clock strikes 1. We're gonna rock around the clock tonight. We're gonna rock, rock, rock till broad daylight. We're gonna rock around the clock tonight. When the clock strikes 2, 3, and 4, if the band slows down, we'll yell for more. We're gonna rock around the clock tonight. We're gonna rock, rock, rock till broad daylight. We're gonna rock around the clock tonight. When the chimes ring 5, 6, and 7, we'll be right in 7th heaven. We're gonna rock around the clock tonight. We're gonna rock, rock, rock till broad daylight. We're gonna rock around the clock tonight. Oh, when it's 8, 9, 10, 11, 2, I'll be going strong, and so will you. We're gonna rock around the clock tonight. We're gonna rock, rock, rock till broad daylight. We're gonna rock around the clock tonight. When the clock strikes 12, we'll cool off, then start a rock